Hello, I'm Mr. Ethan. Thank you so much for taking part in the Mooresville Public Library Tales and Tales Summer Reading Program. Today we have our first virtual program of the Summer Reading Program, and it is the dissection of owl pellets. Before we get started today, I'd like to talk a little bit about the summer reading program at the Mooresville Public Library. Don't forget to register on Beanstack. That is the virtual tracker we are using for the summer reading program this year. It is available through the Apple OS and Android Google Play app stores, or through a web browser at mooresville.beanstack.org, mooresville.beanstack.org. Through Beanstack, you can track your reading hours as well as log activities to get badges. Badges are fun little achievements you get for taking part in library activities and in reading, and you can show all your friends and really get some bragging rights going by showing your participation. In fact, since you watched this video and took part in our owl pellet dissection today, you can even get a badge for taking part in a library activity. Talk a little bit about owl pellets before we start. Owl pellets are a byproduct of the owl's digestive systems. Now this is going to sound a little gross, but an owl pellet is something that is regurgitated or thrown up by the owl after it is finished eating. You see, when an owl catches its prey, small animals such as mice and voles and other creatures it can catch, it will consume the whole of its prey. And an owl doesn't have teeth like a human or an alligator or other animals do. It has a beak, and it will consume the entirety of its prey and digest its food because that's how it takes in its meals. But the owl can't digest every part of its prey, like hair and bones, and those are regurgitated later in the form of an owl pellet. Today we'll be dissecting an owl pellet using these tweezers, as well as the pellets that you'll receive from the library. First things first, you're going to want to put on some rubber gloves so you don't get any of the pellet on your hands or anything. That'd be pretty gross if you did that. Another thing I would like to make note of before you start is that if you have allergies to pets or anything, be careful with this project because you may get the sniffles or some hay fever from this activity, since it will involve animal hair and the like. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do after putting on your gloves is you're going to want to take your owl pellet and put it on a plate, a paper plate, or some other kind of thing so it doesn't make a mess, and then you will unwrap your pellet. Just takes a bit to get the foil off of here, and you'll see that your pellet is a little gross looking. Looks kind of like poop, honestly, but this is something that's very important for the owl, and you will take your tweezers, and you'll just kind of take it. This is why you want to wear gloves, and you'll start to kind of go through the pellet and kind of take it apart, see what you can find. As you can see, a lot of hair. Most of it is hair comprising the pellet because, again, hair cannot be digested by the owl. But you can find, such as this, various bones that are real interesting, and you can try to figure out what kind of animal this owl was eating. Like, for example, here we have a tiny bone. Looks like it comes from a leg or something. Let's see if we can find some other interesting bones. Just kind of taking things apart here. It's a little dried out, a little hard to tear through. You might want to use your fingers a little bit, but we have Another bone. This one's very interesting. This one here looks like it was a kind of shoulder blade for an animal that the owl was hunting. Oh, here looks like we got a real big one here. Another shoulder blade is what we're looking like right here. Looks like it's stuck in with some other bones in this. See if we can find any skulls in here today, because those are always very interesting to look at. But what will be provided is in your kit there will be a bone identification chart as well, and that will allow you to kind of get an idea of what kind of bones we're dealing with. A lot of long straight bones in this one. Oop, be careful with the tweezers, you don't want your bones flying off. Here we go. Here we have a little piece of a jaw. The camera will focus. You can even see that it's got some teeth attached to it. That's a very interesting find. But this is really a self-directed self-science project, is to just go through the owl pellet and see what kind of things the owl was eating and see if you can identify the bones. Here we have another piece of a jaw, part of a skull. So it's very, very interesting. You can see the teeth right there. See if we can find an intact skull down through here. I'm seeing something. Something. Is this the top of the head? It's really stuck in there, but we're gonna see what we can pull out. It is another part of the jaw. We have front part. This was a very interesting thing. Oh, this is a long tooth at the front, long fang of whatever the owl ate last. See, we have a longer fang there, and we've got the smaller teeth along here. Lots of jaw bones inside this pellet today. Lots of jaw bones indeed. Oh, here's another big cluster, if we can get the hair off. That was just some matted up hair. Yep, looks like that was matted up hair. We found another leg bone. So, as you can see, this pellet looks like it had a lot of straight bones, leg bones, shoulder blade type bones, and jaw bones. But who knows what you will find in yours. Yes. Thank you once again for joining me today to dissect owl pellets. I really hope you'll pick up one of the packets at the Mooresville Public Library Youth Services desk if you haven't yet. I know this project's a little gross, but it's a lot of fun and really educational and interesting to take part in. And like I said, a kit, the kit will include an identification chart for the bones, so you can actually get a better idea of what you're finding inside of your owl pellets. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Mooresville Public Library's Facebook page and to our YouTube channel, and make sure you have the bell on so that you'll be able to see our videos as they come up. We've got even more great things planned for summer reading, and if you take part and log your minutes of reading, you'll be able to win prizes. Before we finish up today, I'd like to show you some of the books we have at the Mooresville Public Library that can teach you more about owls. First thing I have here is this book, Animals, Animals, Owls. This book, well, it discusses all kinds of things about owls in their life cycle, including how they hunt, where they live, and those sorts of things. Some owls don't even live in trees, like the burrowing owl lives in burrows in the ground. Learned that in this book. One of the things I really like is I like these pictures of these baby screech owls. I think they're pretty cute. I like them quite a bit. We also have another book just called Owls, and the type of owl on the cover here is a barn owl, and as you can see, it looks pretty distinct from the other kinds of owls with its face and eyes and its different colorations on its body. This book also talks a lot about the different life cycles and hunting patterns of owls. This one has a lot of really great pictures, like here we have a picture of an owl catching some prey that will later become an owl pellet, like we dissected today. This book especially, I think, is really great with its different kinds of pictures. Some really nice stuff. A lot of owls in flight, owls hunting, owls living in their burrows. Here we have a parent owl feeding its young. Again, a lot of really great pictures, especially in this one, along with great information. And then we have Snowy Owl Invasion, Tracking an Unusual Migration. Now this one is about snowy owls specifically and how they migrate. And that's a really interesting insight into a specific kind of owl and how they live and migrate and do their things. Here we have a nice picture again of a mother owl with her babies. I really like the pictures of the baby owls. They're called chicks because they're birds. Once again, I'd like to thank you for participating, and I hope you are enjoying the Mooresville Public Library Tales and Tales Summer Reading Program.